Hey there, ready to dive in. Today we're tackling a topic that's a bit of a pain point for, well, a lot of us. We're talking about customer handoffs. You know that moment, right? When a sale is closed and it's time to pass the baton from the sales team to, well, everyone else who makes it actually happen for the customer.
It's a transition that can really make or break the customer experience.
Absolutely. And we've got the art of customer handoffs right here with us, ready to unpack why so many companies seem to struggle with this. Get this, almost 70% of sales execs admit that messed up handoffs are one of the main culprits behind losing deals and ending up with some unhappy campers.
And it's not just the number, right? It's the why behind it that's really interesting. Because think about it. A bad handoff, it can mean missed deadlines, expectations that aren't met, and even, that dreaded buyer's remorse. Nobody wants that.
Okay, so let's dig into some of those common obstacles that tend to trip teams up, because the art of customer handoffs, it highlights a few big ones. Now, first up, we've got information overload. Sales teams, you know the drill. You're gathering tons of info during that sales cycle, but then turning all of that into something that other teams can actually use. Well, that's often easier said than done.
It's like trying to, I don't know, stuff a giant suitcase into one of those tiny overhead bins on a plane. You might get it in there, but it's going to be a mess. For example, a sales rep, they might pick up on a customer's communication style during a call. Maybe they're all business, or maybe they're throwing GIFs back and forth, super valuable info. But if it's not documented clearly, the post-sales team is left in the dark.
And then you've got the ever-present pressure cooker of time. I think we've all been there. Sales is so laser-focused on closing those deals, which can lead to rushed handoffs, incomplete information.
And the irony is that time pressure, it often backfires. Remember that Salesforce study we talked about?
Yeah.
It found that something like 68% of sales execs said that ineffective handoffs, they were a key factor in losing deals and disappointing those customers. So they're trying to save time, but they end up creating more problems down the line.
It's a vicious
A
cycle.
little vicious cycle, like more haste, less speed,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And to make matters worse, you often have this underlying tension of misaligned incentives. Sales, they're all about closing deals today, right? While post-sales teams are focused on long-term success with that customer, and those different objectives, well, they can create a real disconnect.
For sure. It's like sales is sprinting that 100-meter dash. Customer success, they're running a marathon. Both are important, but they need different paces, different strategies. Like, think about it. Sales might highlight the shiny, immediate benefits of a product to get that signature on the dotted line. But the post-sales team, they need that deeper understanding of the customer's long-term goals, maybe some potential roadblocks, to make sure implementation and adoption go smoothly. And if they don't have that 360-degree view, it's like navigating a maze in the dark.
And then what's the final nail in the coffin? Lack of standardization. The art of customer handoffs, it's pretty clear on this one. Without a clear, consistent process for handoffs, the quality and completeness of the information shared, it can vary wildly.
Yeah, like that game of telephone, right?
Totally.
Where crucial details, they get lost or they get garbled with each retelling. You need a system, like a playbook, a recipe for success, whatever analogy works.
I like it.
But the foundation of that system, it's that standardized handoff template. This makes sure that no matter who is handling the handoff, all the essential information is there
It's captured.
and communicated in a way that makes sense.
So we've got our trusty handoff template, right? That's step one. But how do we actually bring this thing to life? The art of customer handoffs, they really emphasize these dedicated handoff meetings.
Yeah.
And these aren't just those quick little check-ins, right?
No. We're talking about really carving out the time, the space, making sure that knowledge transfer is, it's given the attention it deserves.
Yeah.
Treat it almost like sacred ground for setting the stage for customer success.
And it's got to be like a full team affair too, right?
Absolutely.
I'm picturing sales reps, customer success managers,
Yeah.
implementation, support, like literally anyone who's going to touch this customer relationship going forward.
You got it. You're painting the picture perfectly.
Okay.
And in these meetings, documentation, so key. It's not just enough to chat about it. You got to capture it.
Yeah.
So detailed notes from those meetings, customer goals. What are their biggest challenges? What are they expecting from us? What did we specifically commit to during that sales process? Anything like that.
Because let's be real, who hasn't gone on a wild goose chase trying to track down that one crucial email or that, I don't know, sticky note from a call weeks ago?
Oh, tell me about it.
This is where technology can really come in and save the day.
1,000%, yeah. Having a central hub,
Right.
right, some kind of collaborative platform, it can be a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Think Google Docs, Confluence, or even a CRM that's got those integrated tools. Anything that lets you update in real time keeps everyone on the same page.
Oh, I love it. Centralized information, easy access. Everyone's collaborating better. I'm already feeling calmer just thinking about it. But here's the thing, and maybe this is where things sometimes kind of fall apart a little bit. It's not enough to just dump all of this on the post-sales team and just be like, all right, good luck.
Right.
You need ownership.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
During that handoff meeting, each team, each person, they need to know who is responsible for what.
Okay.
Moving forward with the customer journey.
Yeah.
It's about getting rid of that, well, I thought you were going to, finger pointing, any of that. Just crystal clear accountability.
Love that. But
Yeah.
it can't just end there.
Right.
It's not like a relay race where you hand off the baton, you're like, see you later.
Exactly.
You need to keep those lines of communication open.
Yeah, give those post-sale teams the power to give feedback to sales, ask questions. If they see something, say something. It's all about that ongoing dialogue, not just a one-time data dump at the very beginning.
Right, right.
The handoff's not really done, truly complete until that customer is up and running and, over the moon happy.
Right.
But, sometimes, even with the best of intentions, all that information, it can feel a little overwhelming.
Totally.
And that's where something like TranscribeIQ, that's where a tool like that can really change the game, wouldn't you say?
100%. So for our listeners who might not be familiar, let's talk about TranscribeIQ for a minute. It's a total game changer, especially for teams that are already using Gong. So paint us a picture here.
Okay, so imagine this. AI digs through all those Gong call transcripts, and it pulls out the gold, right? The important stuff. Customer pain points, specific requirements, maybe even those little subtle expectations that might have slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
All neatly organized, ready to go.
So it's like having a superpowered assistant who's listening to every call and then just hands you a perfect little summary, the cheat sheet.
You got it.
Okay.
No more spending hours scrubbing through those recordings, trying to connect the dots. TranscribeIQ does the heavy lifting.
I love that.
So you can actually use those insights, right, to really wow your customers.
That's what we like to hear.
Right.
But how does this actually play out in the real world? Say I'm a sales rep, I just closed the deal, I'm getting ready for my handoff meeting. How does TranscribeIQ fit into my workflow?
Okay, well, they've got this awesome Chrome extension.
Okay.
So you can analyze your Gong calls, right there, on the fly. No need to jump between different platforms or tools. Just instant insights right there in your browser.
Okay, so walk me through it. I'm in my browser, I've got my handoff template open, what do I do? So it's I can see right through all those customer conversations.
Exactly. You just choose the calls you want to analyze, grab those key takeaways, and boom. You can even copy and paste them right into your handoff docs.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say I'm part of a bigger sales team, right? Or maybe we're dealing with these super complex deals.
Yeah.
Does TranscribeIQ still have our back?
Oh, for sure. That's where their Teams version comes in.
Okay.
That thing takes automation to a whole new level. Seriously, picture this. The second a deal closes in your CRM, TranscribeIQ, it springs into action, right? It analyzes all the important Gong calls, and it just generates these crazy, detailed handoff documents.
Wait, so no more manual input, no more scrambling around trying to find the right info. It just magically appears.
Pretty much. And the best part is it works seamlessly with stuff Slack, Google Docs. So those documents, they're instantly accessible to the entire team just like that.
Oh, I love that.
Everyone's on the same page. Nothing gets missed. It's the handoff dream team,
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I do have to ask because, every team's got its own quirks and preferences. Can you, I don't know, can you customize what TranscribeIQ actually focuses on?
Yeah. That's the cool thing about it. It's not one size fits all at all. You can
Yeah.
actually work with them, really tailor the analysis and the reporting to what you need.
Oh, wow.
Want to zone in on just the technical stuff,
Okay.
customer sentiment, maybe specific action items for different teams? No problem.
Wow.
TranscribeIQ can handle it.
It sounds like they've really thought of everything.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what does the future hold for these customer handoffs? Are we, on the verge of a revolution here?
I think so. Imagine, right, handoffs are no longer this thing you dread. No more miscommunication, just smooth sailing into customer success.
Right.
That's a future worth working towards, right?
Absolutely. It's all about making sure everyone has the insights they need, the tools, so we can create these amazing customer experiences from, like, day one.
From that very first hello all the way through.
Yes. And I imagine for companies that can actually nail this, the payoff is huge.
Oh, yeah. Stronger customer relationships, people sticking around longer, and that, beautiful thing called sustainable growth.
Music to my ears.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's, like, the biggest takeaway for our listeners today? What's that one thing they should keep in mind as they navigate this wild world of customer handoffs?
For me, it always comes back to combining those classic best practices, being super clear with communication, documenting everything, having those dedicated meetings, but then like strategically using technology. Like, we were just talking about TranscribeIQ.
Right.
It's not about replacing us, the humans. It's about empowering everyone to be the best versions of themselves.
I love that. Working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And making sure that, everyone feels set up for success. So for our listeners who are ready to say goodbye to those handoff headaches for good and hello to some truly happy customers, we'll be sure to drop links to all the resources that we mentioned down in the show notes.
Definitely check those out.
Until next time,
Yeah.
happy handing off.